My dear students, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will be explaining the B.Ed second semester subject content and pedagogy of social science education at secondary stage, as prescribed by Osmania University and other universities of Telangana. We will go through the important questions and answers one by one. Let's begin with a quick revision. Unit 3 first important short question is: define pedagogical content knowledge, PCK, and its importance in social science teaching. Pedagogical content knowledge, PCK, and its importance in social science teaching. Definition: pedagogical content knowledge, PCK, is the special knowledge that teachers use to make subject content easy to understand for students. It combines what to teach, content knowledge, with how to teach, pedagogical knowledge, effectively. Importance in social science teaching. Makes abstract concepts clear. Topics like democracy, colonialism, or economic policies can be complex. Using PCK, teachers can explain them with stories, examples, and case studies. Relates content to students' life. For example, teaching citizens' rights using local government elections helps students connect theory with real life. Encourages critical thinking. PCK helps teachers design questions, activities, and discussions that make students analyze, evaluate, and form opinions rather than just memorize facts. Conclusion: PCK ensures social science teaching is interactive, meaningful, and relevant. It transforms textbooks into lessons students can understand, remember, and apply in daily life. Next important short question is: 2. What is the role of concept mapping in teaching social science? Role of concept mapping in teaching social science. Definition: concept mapping is a visual tool that shows the relationship between ideas and concepts in a clear, organized way. It helps students see the big picture of a topic. Role in social science teaching. 1. Organizes information clearly. It helps students connect historical events, political systems, or economic processes. For example, a concept map on Indian freedom struggle can show key events, leaders, and movements in one diagram. 2. Enhances understanding and memory. Visual links make it easier for students to remember facts and understand cause-effect relationships. 3. Promotes critical thinking. Students analyze how concepts relate, compare ideas, and find patterns. 4. Facilitates active learning. Students can create their own maps, which encourages participation and engagement. Conclusion: concept mapping makes social science lessons interactive, easy to understand, and memorable, turning complex content into simple, visual knowledge. Next important short question is: 3. Mention 2 key learning outcomes for teaching human geography in class 11-12. Key learning outcomes for teaching human geography. 1. Understanding population and settlements. Students learn how people live, migrate, and settle in different regions. For example, they study why cities like Mumbai or Delhi grow rapidly due to jobs, education, and better facilities. This helps students connect population patterns with real-life social and economic problems like traffic, housing, and resource management. 2. Analyzing human-environment interaction. Students understand how humans use natural resources and affect the environment. For instance, studying deforestation in the Western Ghats or river pollution teaches students the impact of human activities and the importance of sustainable development. Conclusion: by the end of the topic, students can explain patterns of population, migration, settlements, and environmental issues. They develop analytical thinking and a sense of responsibility towards society and nature. This makes human geography not just a textbook subject but a practical tool to understand the world. Next important short question is: 4. What are the main features of the Harappan civilization? Main features of the Harappan civilization. The Harappan civilization, also called Indus Valley Civilization, was one of the world's earliest urban civilizations, flourishing around 2600 to 1900 BCE in the Indus Valley. 1. Well-planned cities. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were carefully planned with straight streets, grid patterns, and separate residential and market areas. 2. Advanced drainage and sanitation. Houses had bathrooms, drains, and sewage systems, showing high knowledge of hygiene and public health. 3. Trade and economy. The civilization had trade with Mesopotamia and used standardized weights and measures. People were engaged in farming, pottery, and bead making. 4. Writing and seals. They used pictographic scripts on seals for trade and communication, though it is yet to be fully deciphered. 5. Art and craft. Terracotta figurines, pottery, and jewelry reflect artistic skills and daily life. Example: the Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro shows their advanced urban planning and emphasis on cleanliness. Conclusion: Harappan civilization was highly organized, technologically advanced, and culturally rich, forming the foundation for later Indian civilizations. Next important short question is: 5. Give examples of activities or experiments used to teach topics like climate, atmosphere, or human development. Activities and experiments for teaching climate, atmosphere, and human development. 1. Climate. Activity: create a mini weather station in the classroom using a thermometer, rain gauge, and wind vane. Example: students record daily temperature, rainfall, and wind direction for a week. This helps them understand local climate patterns and seasonal changes. 2. Atmosphere. Experiment: demonstrate air pressure using a simple glass and card experiment. Place a card over a glass of water and invert it. Students observe the card stays due to air pressure. Example: this visualizes invisible forces and teaches about the properties of the atmosphere. 3. Human development. Activity: use a life cycle chart or timelines to show stages of human growth, health, and education in different regions. Example: students compare literacy rates, life expectancy, and nutrition in rural versus urban areas, linking data to human development. Conclusion: hands-on activities and experiments make these abstract topics concrete, engaging, and easy to remember. Students learn by observing, recording, and analyzing, which builds curiosity and practical understanding. Next, Unit 8. Long questions. First important long question is: 1. Explain how to conduct pedagogical analysis of a social science textbook topic using PCK, listing all steps with examples. Conducting pedagogical analysis of a social science textbook topic using PCK. Pedagogical content knowledge, PCK, helps teachers understand what to teach and how to teach it effectively. Conducting a pedagogical analysis of a social science topic ensures students learn meaningfully rather than just memorizing facts. Steps to conduct pedagogical analysis. 1. Select the topic. Choose a specific topic from the textbook, like Indian freedom struggle or climate change. 2. Analyze content knowledge. Understand the facts, concepts, dates, events, and definitions thoroughly. For example, while studying Indian freedom struggle, identify key leaders, movements, and their significance. 3. Identify learning objectives. Decide what students should learn. Objectives may include understanding cause-effect relationships, developing critical thinking, or relating history to present-day scenarios. 4. Assess prerequisite knowledge. Check what students already know. For example, students should understand basic geography before studying environmental issues. 5. Plan pedagogical strategies. Choose teaching methods suitable for the topic. Discussion, debate on colonial policies. Storytelling, narrate incidents of freedom movements. Visuals maps, show maps of colonial India or resource distribution. Activities experiments, survey local population for understanding demographic changes. 6. Integrate real-life examples. Relate content to students' experiences. For instance, while teaching human development, compare literacy and health statistics of their own community with national data. 7. Design assessment methods. Formative, quick quizzes, group discussions, or mind maps. Summative, assignments, projects, and tests analyzing data or events. 8. Reflect and revise. After teaching, reflect on what worked well and what needs improvement. Modify strategies for better understanding next time. Example. While teaching climate change, use maps to show affected areas. Conduct an activity measuring rainfall trends. Discuss its impact on local farming and daily life. Conclusion. Following this PCK-based framework ensures that social science lessons are interactive, practical, and meaningful. Students not only memorize facts but also analyze, relate, and apply knowledge in real life. Next important long question is: 2. Discuss the need for enrichment of textbook content knowledge for effective teaching in social science, with illustrations. Need for enrichment of textbook content knowledge for effective teaching in social science. Textbooks provide the basic content for social science, but teaching only from them may limit understanding. Enrichment of textbook content means adding extra information, examples, activities, and illustrations to make learning meaningful, interesting, and practical. 1. Makes learning engaging. Enrichment helps students connect abstract concepts with real life. For example, while teaching Indian freedom struggle, instead of just dates and facts, teachers can show photographs of leaders, maps of protest movements, or stories of local freedom fighters. This captures students' attention and makes learning lively. 2. Deepens understanding. Some textbook explanations are brief. Enrichment provides additional context. For example, in human development, teachers can add recent statistics on literacy, health, or employment to explain trends and challenges, helping students understand concepts deeply. 3. Connects content to daily life. Relating lessons to students' experiences makes knowledge practical. For example, when teaching climate and environment, teachers can discuss local rainfall patterns, river pollution, or farming problems, showing how social science affects their community. 4. Supports different learning styles. Enriched content uses visuals, charts, videos, activities, and discussions. This helps visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learners understand better. For example, a timeline chart for major political events makes history easier to remember. 5. Encourages critical thinking. Teachers can include debates, case studies, or problem-solving activities. For instance, discussing economic policies and their impact on local markets encourages students to analyze and form opinions rather than memorize. Illustration. Teaching urbanization can be enriched by showing graphs of city population growth, discussing traffic, housing, and sanitation issues in nearby cities. Conducting a survey of student neighborhoods to understand migration trends. Conclusion. Enriching textbook content makes social science teaching interactive, practical, and meaningful. Students not only remember facts but also analyze, relate, and apply knowledge in real-life situations, preparing them to think critically and responsibly. Next important long question is: 3. Analyze the pedagogical strategies for teaching colonialism and the countryside or Mahatma Gandhi and the nationalist movement. Pedagogical strategies for teaching Mahatma Gandhi and the nationalist movement. Teaching history effectively requires strategies that make students understand, relate, and analyze rather than just memorize facts. 1. Content analysis. The topic covers Gandhi's life, philosophy, methods of protest, and his role in India's independence. Students should understand key events like the non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience, Salt March, and Quit India movement, along with Gandhi's principles of non-violence and satyagraha. 2. Learning objectives. Understand Gandhi's approach and leadership. Analyze the impact of his movements on Indian society. Develop critical thinking about resistance, ethics, and social change. 3. Teaching strategies. Storytelling and biography. Narrate incidents from Gandhi's life to make history personal and engaging. For example, describe how Gandhi walked to the seashore for the Salt March. Use of visuals, show photographs, posters, and short videos of protests to provide a real-life connection. Group activities and discussions. Students can role-play debates between Gandhi and British officials or discuss his strategies' relevance today. Timeline and concept maps. Visual tools help students remember the sequence of movements and understand cause-effect relationships. Primary sources and documents. Use letters, speeches, or newspaper excerpts to encourage analysis of historical evidence. 4. Real-life connections. Relate Gandhi's principles to modern social movements, peaceful protests, or campaigns for environmental and social justice. This helps students see the relevance of history in daily life. 5. Evaluation methods. Formative, quick quizzes on dates, events, or Gandhi's principles. Summative. Projects like making posters on satyagraha or writing essays comparing historical and modern protests. Example. While teaching the Salt March, students can measure the distance walked, understand the hardships faced, and discuss how nonviolent protest influenced British policies. Conclusion. These pedagogical strategies make teaching history interactive, meaningful, and memorable. Students not only learn facts but also analyze leadership, ethics, and societal impact, developing critical thinking and appreciation for India's freedom struggle. Next important long question is: 4. Explain the identification of concepts and processes, learning outcomes, and evaluation strategies in teaching Indian economy and micro-macro economics. Identification of concepts, learning outcomes, and evaluation strategies in teaching Indian economy and micro-macro economics. Teaching economics effectively requires identifying key concepts, processes, setting learning outcomes, and using appropriate evaluation strategies. 1. Identification of concepts and processes. Concepts: GDP, inflation, unemployment, demand, supply, money, production, consumption. Processes: economic planning, market operations, government policies, trade, and budgeting. Example: while teaching inflation, students learn how prices rise, how it affects buying power, and government measures to control it. 2. Learning outcomes. Understanding key concepts, Students should define and explain terms like demand, supply, or GDP. Analytical skills. Students analyze trends in the Indian economy, compare rural versus urban employment, or study price fluctuations. Application in daily life. Students relate concepts to household budgeting, business decisions, or consumer behavior. Example: students calculate their monthly expenses and see how inflation affects their spending power. 3. Evaluation strategies. Formative assessment. Quick quizzes on terms and definitions. Group discussions on market trends or government policies. Case studies like impact of GST on small businesses. Summative assessment. Projects analyzing local economic issues. Assignments on production, consumption, and income distribution. Tests involving calculations, graphs, and real-life problem solving. 4. Teaching strategies. Use charts, graphs, and tables to explain data. Conduct simulations of markets to show demand-supply relationships. Relate topics to current affairs like government schemes, inflation reports, or stock market trends. Conclusion. By identifying concepts and processes, setting clear learning outcomes, and using varied evaluation strategies, economics teaching becomes interactive, practical, and meaningful. Students not only understand theory but also apply knowledge to real-life situations, making learning engaging and memorable. Next important long question is: 5. Describe the pedagogical approach to teaching history topics like peasants, zamindars and the state, or thinkers, beliefs and buildings, with activities, experiments, and concept mapping. Pedagogical approach to teaching history topics like peasants, zamindars and the state, or thinkers, beliefs and buildings. Teaching history effectively involves strategies that make students understand, visualize, and analyze the past rather than memorize facts. 1. Content analysis. Peasants, zamindars and the state focuses on the agrarian economy, land revenue systems, farmers' struggles, and the role of local authorities. Thinkers, beliefs and buildings deals with ideas, philosophies, religious movements, and monuments of different periods. 2. Learning objectives. Understand social, economic, and cultural aspects of history. Analyze relationships between people, institutions, and ideas. Develop critical thinking about historical causes, effects, and diversity of beliefs. 3. Teaching strategies. Activities. Create role plays showing interactions between peasants and zamindars to understand social hierarchy. Conduct group discussions on philosophies of thinkers or significance of architectural monuments. Experiments simulations. Simulate land revenue collection using mock cons and plots to explain economic systems. Build simple models of historical buildings using clay or charts to understand architecture. Concept mapping. Use concept maps to connect ideas, such as peasant taxes, zamindar state policies, helping students see cause-effect relationships. For thinkers, beliefs, and buildings, map philosophers, their beliefs, and related monuments to show links between ideas and culture. 4. Real-life connections. Relate peasant struggles to modern farmer issues to make learning relevant. Discuss how ancient philosophies influence contemporary life and cultural heritage. 5. Evaluation strategies. Formative, quick quizzes, drawing maps, creating small concept charts. Summative, projects on local historical monuments, essays comparing thinkers' ideas, or presentations on historical events. Example. While teaching peasants, zamindars and the state, students can calculate mock land taxes, discuss the hardships faced by peasants, and analyze the fairness of the system. Conclusion. This pedagogical approach using activities, experiments, and concept mapping makes history interactive, meaningful, and memorable. Students develop critical thinking, relate past to present, and enjoy learning rather than just memorizing facts.